Have you ever noticed that the people who hurt you the most are the ones you're most attached to? Seneca discovered something revolutionary about human suffering 20 centuries ago, that our pain doesn't come from what happens to us, but from our desperate need to control people and situations we can never truly control. The Roman philosopher who counseled emperors developed a systematic method to break these invisible chains of attachment, and this forgotten wisdom can transform your relationships, your peace of mind, and your entire approach to life in exactly 14 days. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your like and comment what part of the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. Have you ever wondered why being close to someone can sometimes hurt so much? Maybe you feel sad when a friend ignores your message, or you feel angry when someone you love lets you down. Many people feel pain in relationships because they hope others will act a certain way. When these hopes are not met, it leads to disappointment. Let's start by looking at how pain shows up in relationships. Imagine you spend a lot of time thinking about someone you care for. You may want this person to pay attention to you, speak kindly to you, or support you in all situations. These are wishes and hopes you carry in your heart. When the other person does not behave in the way you wish, it can feel like something inside you breaks. You wait for a message that does not come, or you wish for a smile that never appears. This situation causes sadness and stress. Why does this pain happen? The answer is simple. Most of the pain in relationships comes from your own thoughts and beliefs. When you expect someone to do something and they do not do it, you feel hurt. When you see others not notice your feelings, you feel alone. If you want someone to change but they stay the same, you become frustrated. This is because you want to control how someone acts, but you cannot do this. People choose their own words and actions. They may care about you, but they will always make their own decisions. It is very common to wish things were different. You might think, if this person loved me more, they would call me every day. Or you might believe, if my friend cared, she would never cancel our meeting. When you depend so much on what people do, your happiness can go up and down very quickly. If someone acts in the way you like, you feel good. If not, you feel sad or even angry. Soon, your feelings are controlled by someone else, and this gives you pain. Sometimes you try to change the people around you. You may give advice that is not wanted, or you may get upset when someone does not follow your wishes. This brings even more stress. When you argue, shout, or become cold with others, the relationship often gets worse. Trying to control people makes you and them unhappy. This is because everyone loves to decide for themselves what to do, and no one likes to be forced to change. There are people who spend all their time thinking about what others should do. They want a partner, friend, or family member to act differently. Over and over again, they replay in their mind what happened. They ask themselves, "Why did she say that to me?" Or, "What could I have done to make him stay?" This is exhausting. It does not bring you any peace. The more you want to control, the more unhappy you become. This does not mean you are a bad person for wanting someone to care. Everyone wants love, attention, and respect. These are natural wishes. But when you start to demand them, or think that your happiness depends on another person, you start to suffer. The more you hold on to these expectations, the more disappointed you will be. Let's look at this another way. Imagine you have a glass of water in your hand. If you hold it for a few seconds, it is easy. If you have to hold it for an hour, your arm will ache. If you hold it all day, your arm will hurt a lot. In the same way, carrying too many demands and expectations for others becomes a heavy burden. Your mind and heart grow tired. Of course, the solution is not to drop caring about people, but to let go of the heavy feelings that make you unhappy. One important thing to remember is that pain in relationships is not always caused by what other people do. It comes from how you react to what they do. For example, if your friend is late, you might feel angry. Someone else might feel worried. Another person may not care at all. The same action makes different people feel different emotions. This shows that your own thoughts and beliefs create your feelings, not just the actions of others. Sometimes, pain comes from the simple wish that someone should treat you better, love you more, or make you feel special. When these wishes are not met, you feel empty. You start to believe that if only the other person changed, you would be happy. You may try harder to please them, or you may feel upset and pull away. Most people have done this at least once in their life. It is very helpful to notice when you are doing this. When you become aware that you are waiting for someone to change, or you expect things from them that they do not give, you can pause. You can ask yourself, am I trying to control this person? Am I making my happiness depend on them? If the answer is yes, it is a sign to start letting go of this pattern. People often believe that if they love someone deeply, the other person will do what they want. But love does not give you power over someone else. Even if you spend many years with a person, they are still free to choose what they say and do. If you accept this truth, your life becomes easier. You will find that you can still care for others, but you do not suffer when they do not act as you wish. Learning to let go of this need to control is not always easy. You may feel afraid that if you stop trying, the other person will go away. But holding on too tight often pushes people further away. Letting go does not mean you stop caring or that you have to leave someone. It means you accept that their choices are not your responsibility. This is a gentle and peaceful way to live. Here is the good news. When you start to understand where your relationship pain comes from, you can start to heal. When you can see that much of your pain comes from your own thoughts and beliefs, you can choose to think in a new way. This is the first and most important step in feeling better. Another thing to keep in mind is that pain in relationships is a signal. It tells you that there is something inside you that wants attention. Maybe you feel lonely. Maybe you feel afraid of losing someone. Maybe you want to feel important or loved. These are all important feelings. When you notice them, instead of trying to change the other person, you can start to notice and care for your own feelings. It is very common to think that if only someone were different, then you would be happy. But this is not true. Even if someone changes for a little while, they often return to their old ways. Your happiness becomes shaky when it depends on what other people do. It is much safer and more peaceful to find your happiness inside yourself. How do you start this process? First, begin by noticing. Notice when you feel pain or sadness in a relationship. Notice when you hope or expect someone to do something and it does not happen. Pay attention to times when you feel like you are not important or loved enough. Do not judge yourself for feeling this way. Just notice it. This is an important first step. Second, ask yourself, what am I expecting from this person? Is it something I can control? Often, you will find that you want someone to call, be kind, or act in a certain way. You cannot control this. This truth may feel hard at first, but it is actually a gift. When you accept it, you are free to care for yourself instead of waiting for someone else to make you feel good. Relationship pain is deepest when you forget who you are. You are a person with your own dreams, feelings, and needs. Sometimes, you lose touch with yourself when you focus too much on someone else. You may forget what you like, what you want, or how you want to be treated. When you remember your own needs, your heart becomes stronger. As you go forward, try to watch your own thoughts and feelings. When you notice yourself blaming someone else for your pain, pause. When you see that you are making your happiness depend on another person, stop and breathe. Remind yourself that you are in control of your own actions, words, and responses. No one else is in charge of how you feel inside. Pain in relationships does not mean something is wrong with you. It means you are human. Everyone feels hurt, rejected, or sad sometimes. The important thing is to learn how to care for yourself in these moments. When you start to do this, a big change happens. Instead of making others responsible for your happiness, you become free to enjoy your life as it is. You may still want others to love and respect you. That is a natural wish. The difference is that now you respect yourself first. You start to make choices that are good for your own health and peace. When you let go of heavy expectations, you make more space for joy. Attachment is a word for how much you hold on to someone or something. The tighter you hold, the more pain you feel when things do not go as you wish. If you start to loosen this grip, you will notice that pain slowly gets smaller. You do not have to stop loving or caring. You only need to stop tying your happiness to things you cannot control. Over time, you may find that you feel calmer. You do not get upset as quickly when someone lets you down. You can care for yourself kindly, and you do not blame others as much for your pain. This is a strong and peaceful way to live. To sum up, relationship pain often comes from expectations and the wish to control. These thoughts and beliefs make you unhappy. When you start to notice your own patterns, you take the first step to healing and letting go. Understanding this connection brings freedom. It is not easy at first, but every little step matters. Each day, you can choose to let go, care for yourself, and free your heart from pain rooted in trying to control others. Understanding where pain in relationships comes from opens a door to a new way of thinking. When you begin to see how your own expectations and attempts to control others can bring you suffering, you naturally start to wonder if there is another way to live and relate to people. Many wise people from the past have asked these same questions. One of them was Seneca, a philosopher who lived a long time ago in Rome. Although he lived thousands of years before us, his ideas can help with problems that people face today. Seneca believed that suffering comes mostly from wanting things that we cannot have and trying to change what we cannot control. He explained that each person has only one thing they are truly in charge of: themselves. This means you are responsible for what you choose to think, how you decide to act, and how you respond when things do not go as you hope. Other people, no matter how much you may care for them or wish they would behave differently, belong to a world you cannot control. This can be a hard truth to accept at first. You might think, but if I try harder, maybe the other person will listen to me. You may hope that careful words or perfect actions will finally make things better, or make someone love you more, or make them stay in your life. Even so, Seneca teaches that all your effort to control someone else is energy lost, because each person always chooses for themselves. Even the kindest words cannot force another person to change. Seneca liked to remind people that you suffer only when you try to get things that are not yours to control. If you use all your time trying to change people, you do not have any energy left for what you can do for yourself. If you let go of this habit, you suddenly find more power and peace. You understand that real power is not about others doing what you want. Real power is about having a calm mind and making wise choices about your own life. Many people think that peace comes from outside things or from other people. They wait for a friend or a family member to make them feel loved, respected, or important. But this kind of peace is very weak because it always depends on things that can change or fade. If you want strong, lasting peace, you have to find it inside yourself. Seneca taught that you build this calm by focusing on your own actions and thoughts. This does not mean you have to agree with everything people do. It does not mean you give up care or kindness. Instead, it means that you save your energy for what you truly can change. You learn to accept that each person is following their own path. Sometimes this path brings people close to us, and sometimes it takes them away. Your job is not to direct their path. Your job is to walk your path with honesty and care. If you pay attention, you may notice that a lot of worry in your mind has to do with what other people are doing, saying, or thinking. When someone is cold or silent, you may replay their actions in your head again and again. You may judge yourself harshly, thinking you should have done something differently. Or you may judge them, telling yourself that they are wrong for how they behave. This way of thinking brings pain. Instead, you can practice simply accepting that the situation is what it is and asking, what can I do about my own actions and feelings right now? Accepting that you cannot control others does not make you powerless. It gives you more control over what is truly yours, your own mind and life. Every day, you can make the choice to act with understanding and calm. When someone does something hurtful or disappointing, you can pause. Before you react or try to change them, you can take a breath and think about how you want to respond. This pause is a small action, but it holds a lot of power. You might say to yourself, I wish things were different, but I know I cannot make someone change. I can only choose my response. This simple idea helps you let go of blame and anger. It allows you to stay connected to your own values no matter what other people choose. Many of us learn to act in certain ways because we saw it growing up. Maybe your parents or teachers taught you, with words or with their actions, that your job is to please others or fix the problems around you. Maybe you grew up hearing that loving someone means always putting their needs first. These lessons are common, but they can also lead to stress and a loss of self. Seneca and many other thinkers showed that it is not selfish to care for your own peace. In fact, when you take care of your own thoughts and emotions, you become a kinder and happier person for everyone in your life. You can offer love and help to others, not because you need them to be a certain way, but simply because you choose to be kind. Let's think about this with an example. Imagine you ask someone to spend time with you. They say yes, but later they cancel. You might feel hurt, angry, or rejected. If you try to control their choice, you might argue, beg, or feel that you are not good enough. But if you accept that their choice is not in your power, you can respond differently. You might feel sad, which is natural, but you can also remind yourself that their actions reflect their own wishes and needs, not your value as a person. The next time you feel upset because of what someone else has done, try to pause. Ask yourself what you can do rather than what you wish they would do. Sometimes the only thing you can do is take care of your own feelings, or say a kind word to yourself, or do something that brings you joy. When you put your attention on your own choices, you break free from the old habit of trying to control the uncontrollable. Acceptance is not always easy, but it grows each time you practice. At first it may feel strange or unfinished because your mind is so used to looking at the outside world, watching what everyone else is doing. But acceptance is a quiet strength. It tells you, this is not mine to control. My task is to take care of how I respond. One of the benefits of acceptance is that it lowers your disappointment and frustration. When you already know someone might act in ways you do not expect, you do not fall so hard when things do not go your way. It does not mean you feel nothing. It just means your sadness or frustration is smaller and easier to handle. Sometimes you may worry that if you stop trying to control people, they will leave you or forget about you. This is a natural fear, but often the opposite is true. When you stop pushing and controlling, relationships become lighter. You give people space to be themselves. You also teach them, by your example, to care for their own thoughts and choices too. There may be moments when you notice others do not act kindly or show respect. Acceptance does not mean you must agree with everything or allow people to hurt you. If someone crosses your limits or treats you badly, you still have the power to say no, to step back, or to ask for what you need. The important thing is to do this without hate or blame. You are caring for your own peace, not trying to punish or control someone else. It takes practice to remember where your control begins and ends. Every day is a new chance to check in with yourself and ask, is this in my power to change or not? When you look at life this way, you start to see how much energy you spent on things you cannot change, and how free you feel when your focus shifts to your own actions. As your thinking changes, You will feel less stress in your body and less worry in your mind. You may feel more open and hopeful because you are no longer giving your power away. When something happens that you do not like, you can take a breath and make a clear choice about what to do next, without feeling trapped or helpless. Many people who practice this way of thinking find that their relationships get stronger. When you stop trying to control or change others, people are more likely to feel safe with you. They do not feel like you are judging or pressuring them. Instead, you become someone who listens, who understands that everyone is doing the best they can. When you can accept people as they are, your heart feels lighter. This does not mean you always agree or want to be close to everyone. It just means you see the truth about what you can and cannot do. You see that your peace is something you can choose, no matter what others decide. If you ever find yourself falling back into old habits, worrying about what others think, wishing someone would act differently, feeling anxious about things you cannot control, it is okay. Change takes time. What matters is that you notice when you start to slip into these patterns. Each time you notice, you make it easier to return to acceptance. Seneca talked a lot about the power of daily practice. He encouraged people not to wait for big changes, but to look for small chances to accept life as it is, in every moment. This way of living does not require any special skill or talent. All it takes is a little willingness to pause, to think, and to refocus your energy on what you can truly change. The more you live with this idea, the easier it gets to accept difficult moments and people. You learn that most suffering comes not from what happens, but from wanting things to be different. When anger, sadness, or frustration comes, you remember that these feelings grow when you try to force what cannot be forced. With acceptance, anger turns softer, sadness becomes lighter, and frustration passes more quickly. It can help to make a simple habit each morning. Before your day begins, take a few moments to remind yourself that you cannot control what others will say or do. You can only choose your own words and actions. This short thought can guide you through many challenges and difficult moments. If someone disappoints you or lets you down, go back to this idea. It is not your job to fix them or to make their choices for them. Your job is to keep your mind and heart calm and to do what is best for your own peace. With time, you may find that you do not need others to behave perfectly in order to feel okay. This does not mean life is free of pain. There will always be moments when you feel sad or hurt. But when you stop fighting with reality and start accepting what is in your power to change, pain does not last as long. You are able to move on more quickly and find something good in your day. Over time, acceptance lets you see people more clearly. You recognize that everyone is living their own story, with their own wishes and fears. This helps you feel more understanding and patient. You may even feel thankful for the people in your life, just as they are. Letting go of control is not cold or distant. It is about caring for yourself and at the same time respecting the freedom of others. You let people be who they are while you keep your own peace and kindness. This is a kind of freedom that brings much more happiness than trying to change everyone around you. You have the choice each day to focus your attention on your own thoughts and actions. When you do this, you discover a new kind of strength, the strength of acceptance. This strength does not depend on anything outside you. It grows quietly each time you let go of trying to control what you cannot change. As you continue to build this way of thinking, you will notice changes in your feelings and in your relationships. There is less tension, less disappointment, and more time to enjoy life as it is. With practice, you learn to hold your peace, no matter what happens around you or what anyone else decides. The more you understand this, the safer and more settled you begin to feel. You do not worry so much about other people's choices, and you do not lose yourself in trying to please everyone. Instead, you stay true to your own values and take calm, kind actions each day. This is the freedom of living with acceptance, and it is open to anyone who chooses this path. When you decide to live with acceptance, you quickly start to notice what happens in your mind and heart. Thoughts and feelings begin to rise and fall throughout the day. Some of these are about people you love, some are about problems at work or with friends, and some are just little worries that do not seem important. The world outside always changes, and your mind changes too. When you pay attention to your thoughts and emotions, you begin to see how much they shape your days. Most people do not realize how busy their mind is. If you take a moment to notice, you will see that your mind is almost always thinking. Early when you wake up, your mind starts bringing up memories or worries. You might think about something someone said to you, or start to worry about what will happen later. These thoughts keep coming during the day, even if you do not want them. You cannot always choose what thought comes next, but you can notice what your mind is doing. When you are having pain in a relationship or trying to let go of someone, your mind often focuses on that person. It may replay your last talk. It may remind you of things you wish went differently. Sometimes you worry about what the other person is feeling or doing. Sometimes you ask yourself if you did something wrong, over and over. These thoughts can come at any time, when you are eating, working, or getting ready for sleep. Once you start to see these thoughts, you can stop letting them control you. This is different from trying to stop the thoughts. The mind creates thoughts all the time. The important thing is to notice what the thought is, and then to decide if you want to listen to it or not. When you realize that you are thinking about the same problem for the 10th time that day, you do not need to fight it. You can just watch the thought come and go. Feelings work in a similar way. Sometimes you wake up and feel sad or angry and you are not sure why. Sometimes you notice that your heart hurts when you think about someone. You may feel anxious when you see their name on your phone, or you may feel lonely when you eat a meal alone. These feelings happen by themselves, very naturally. It is not wrong to have them. Many people believe they should always be happy, calm, and in control. They think that feeling sad or angry means something is not right. But the truth is that all feelings are natural. Even when you are trying to let go of someone, sadness or longing may come up. When you notice a strong emotion, the best thing you can do is to accept it. When you let the feeling be present without trying to change it, it often becomes lighter with time. A simple way to practice this awareness is to pause a few times each day and ask yourself, what is on my mind right now? How do I feel right now? You do not need to judge what you find. Just notice. If you realize you are thinking about someone who caused you pain, see if you can name the feeling. Are you sad? Angry? Do you miss them? Just give the feeling a name. When you do this, it becomes easier to let the feeling pass. Another helpful thing is to write down your thoughts and feelings. You do not need to write a long story. You can just take a pen and paper and write a line or two. Today, I am feeling lonely. Or, I keep thinking about that argument. When you write things down, your mind often feels less busy. Writing can help you see your thoughts from the outside, as if they belong to someone else. This makes it easier to let them go. As you practice becoming more aware, you may start to notice patterns in your thinking. Maybe you always remember certain painful moments. Maybe you always worry most late at night. Some people notice that their mind focuses on the same person or type of memory. You do not need to change these patterns right away. Just seeing them is helpful. When you see the pattern, you understand yourself better. You get to know what makes you worry or feel bad, and you learn what kinds of thoughts bring you peace. If you notice your mind getting stuck, that is okay. Everyone's mind becomes stuck sometimes, especially when it comes to relationships. If you catch yourself replaying the same situation again and again, take a deep breath and gently bring your attention back to the present. You can remind yourself, right now, I am just noticing this thought. This small bit of distance can make a big difference. One thing you may notice about thoughts and emotions is that they change all the time. The thought that seemed so important in the morning may feel unimportant in the afternoon. Feelings of pain or sadness can feel heavy at one moment and much lighter the next. If you have patience, you will discover that you rarely feel the same way forever, no matter how strong an emotion may seem. Very often, people judge themselves for what they feel. If someone is sad for many days, they may think, "I should be stronger." If someone feels angry, they may believe that anger is bad. These beliefs add another layer of pain. Instead of blaming yourself, try to treat your mind with kindness. Remind yourself that it is okay to feel however you feel. You can take care of yourself even if you are feeling sad, lonely, or lost. Sometimes you may notice your body reacting when you think about a person or problem. Your heartbeat may get faster. Your muscles may become tight. You might feel tired or have trouble sleeping. These physical feelings are natural signs that your mind is busy. When you notice them, try to sit quietly and take a few slow breaths. If it helps, you can put your hand on your chest or stomach and notice how your breath moves in and out. This brings your attention back to the present moment. Emotions become easier to handle when you see that they are temporary. No matter how strong a feeling is, it will pass. If you can sit with it for a few moments and simply notice it, you take away its power. Over days or weeks, you may notice that your mind does not spend as much time going back to the same worries, especially if you practice accepting your emotions instead of fighting against them. Becoming aware of your thoughts and feelings is not about ignoring other people. It is about understanding yourself better. When you know what goes on inside you, you can make better choices about how you want to act. If someone's words made you sad, you can pause before you reply. If you notice you are feeling lonely, you can choose to call a friend or do something kind for yourself. When you are aware, you respond to life. When you are not aware, you just react without thinking. Every person in the world has a mind that jumps around. Sometimes your mind will remind you of past mistakes. Sometimes it will create worries about the future. You might find yourself lost in thought during a meal or walk. You might feel so sad about a relationship that everything else becomes hard. The way to start caring for your mind is, again, to notice when this happens. You do not need to change everything in one day. A tiny step, like just noticing one thought in the evening before sleep, is enough. Over time, your ability to notice will get stronger. Little by little, you can learn to listen to your thoughts and feelings as if you are listening to a friend. You can say to yourself, "Right now, my mind is thinking about that person. That is okay. I do not have to do anything. I can just notice." Or you can notice, "A feeling of sadness has come. It is visiting me for a little while." Talking to yourself in this gentle way is a sign of real care. One way to practice this is to set a short reminder during the day. This can be a sound on your phone or just looking at the clock at a certain time, like at noon or in the evening. Use this moment as a chance to pause, take a breath, and notice your thoughts and feelings. Give yourself only 2 or 3 minutes. Over days, you will notice how much clearer your mind becomes. You can also become aware of your feelings by paying attention to your actions. If you notice you are eating a snack very quickly, it can help to ask, "Am I feeling something that I do not want to feel?" If you start scrolling on your phone for a long time, you can pause and notice, "Am I trying to avoid a feeling?" This gentle curiosity can teach you a lot about what is really making you upset or worried. Sometimes it helps to talk to someone you trust about what is happening in your mind. This could be a close friend, a family member, or a counselor. Using your words out loud can make the pain feel smaller. Other people may also remind you that everyone has difficult thoughts and feelings from time to time. If one day you notice that your mind feels noisy and your feelings are hard, Remember that this is not a failure. No one can control every thought or stop every painful feeling. The goal is not to become empty or cold. The goal is to make space in your heart for whatever is there without pushing it away or making it bigger than it really is. When you watch your thoughts and feelings carefully and gently, something shifts inside you. You become less scared of sadness or worry. You start to see that pain is part of human life, but it does not have to control your life. You find that your feelings pass more quickly when you accept them, and you find more moments of peace even in hard times. Letting go of a strong attachment does not mean you have to erase every thought or memory of a person. It means allowing your mind to remember, to feel, and then to come back to the present. You are not trying to force yourself to forget, but to bring your attention back again and again to what is happening right now. If you notice that you often get caught up in stories about what should have happened or what might happen in the future, that is normal. Everyone does this sometimes. The important thing is to notice when it is happening. The more you catch yourself in the middle of these stories, the less power they have over you. Your mind will always have thoughts about happiness, sadness, hope, and fear. By bringing gentle awareness to your thoughts and feelings, you start to gain more freedom. You no longer believe every thought that appears, and you do not fight every feeling that comes. You just notice. Day by day, you may notice that the worries about a person or a problem start to get weaker. They visit your mind less often and they stay for a shorter time. You start to notice other things in your life. Simple things like the feeling of the sun on your skin, the taste of your food, the sound of music. Awareness brings you back to the small joys that are always around. Building this skill is something that anyone can do. You do not need any special training or perfect tools. All you need is the willingness to try. Taking a few moments in the morning or evening to notice your mind helps you remember that you do not have to be controlled by your thoughts or your emotions. As your awareness grows, you learn to make choices that are good for you. Instead of chasing after someone else's approval or losing yourself in regret, you gently return your attention to what matters right now. You live more in the present, and you find more calm, even when life is not perfect. There may still be difficult days. The difference is that now you know how to watch your mind with kindness, to notice your feelings, and to take care of yourself, no matter what happens around you or what anyone else does. This skill allows you to carry more peace wherever you go, and it helps you let go of painful attachments, one gentle step at a time. When you begin to notice your thoughts and emotions with more care, you soon realize how strong your feelings can be, especially when someone you care about does something that hurts or upsets you. Sometimes a wave of sadness or anger arrives before you even understand why. Other times, feelings of disappointment, loneliness, or fear stay in your heart longer than you expected. These emotions are a real and important part of life. They show that you are human and that you have hopes, dreams, and needs. On some days, you might wake up already feeling heavy with emotion after a difficult conversation or memory from the day before. You may feel sadness when you remember what someone said or did, or you feel angry when thinking about an unfair situation in your life. Even when you try not to think about these things, the emotions still find a way into your mind and body. You do not need to blame yourself for this. Having strong emotions does not mean there is something wrong with you. It means you care. When a powerful emotion appears, many people want to push it away. They may try to ignore what they are feeling, or they may distract themselves with work, food, screens, or other people. Sometimes people tell themselves they should not feel this way. They may try to hide their tears or pretend that they are not upset. Doing this might feel helpful for a short time, but when you push your feelings down or judge yourself for having them, those feelings often grow stronger inside you. Instead of running from your feelings, you can practice acceptance. Accepting your emotions means allowing yourself to notice exactly what you are feeling, without trying to change it or push it away. Acceptance does not mean you like the emotion or that you want it to last forever. It only means you let yourself feel it just as it is, with kindness and patience. One way to practice acceptance is to pause for a few moments when you feel a strong emotion rising. You can close your eyes, take a slow breath, and simply notice how you feel. Maybe you notice tightness in your chest, a heaviness in your stomach, or tears in your eyes. You can say to yourself, "Right now, I feel sad," or "This is anger that I am feeling." Sometimes putting words to what you feel is enough. It is like telling your mind and your heart, "I see you, and I am here with you." If you notice that you judge yourself for your feelings, see if you can treat yourself as you would treat a close friend. Would you tell a friend that their pain is silly or unimportant? Probably not. You would listen, offer comfort, and remind them that all feelings are allowed. You can give this same kindness to yourself even if it feels strange or new at first. Some feelings are very strong. They may last for hours or even days. You may ask yourself when they will be gone. The truth is that emotions come and go in their own time. If you try to force an emotion to leave, it may stay even longer. If you allow it to be present, it often becomes softer, just because you are no longer fighting against it. During the day, there may be certain moments when emotions are more intense. Maybe you hear a song that reminds you of someone important, or you receive a message that surprises or upsets you. In these moments, try to pause and notice exactly what is happening inside you. Ask yourself, "What am I feeling right now?" Link this feeling to a word, like sadness, anger, fear, love, or disappointment, and allow it space. You can give space to your emotions by creating quiet moments for yourself. You might sit quietly for a few minutes with your eyes closed, letting your breath move in and out. You could also write in a notebook about what you are feeling. Writing does not have to be beautiful or perfect. It can be as simple as, "Right now I am sad because I miss someone," or "I feel angry because things did not go as I hoped." Putting your feelings on paper can help you see them more clearly and accept them more fully. There will be days when you feel many emotions at once. You might feel angry and sad at the same time, or you might feel hope and fear mixed together. It is normal for emotions to come together in this way. You do not need to name each one perfectly. Just notice how you feel and give yourself permission to sit with the mixed feelings. Sometimes, emotions come with strong energy in the body. If you feel very restless or full of anger or pain, you can use your body to help express your feelings in a healthy way. You might go for a walk, stretch your arms, listen to music, or even cry if you need to. Moving your body helps your emotions move through you. There is no right or wrong way to feel. Some people worry that if they let themselves feel sadness or anger, the emotion will never stop. But feelings are like small waves. If you allow them to be, they will rise, reach their highest point, and then fall again. The strongest part of the feeling usually lasts a short time, often just a few minutes. As it passes, you may notice that you feel lighter, even if the sadness or anger does not go away completely. When you allow yourself to truly feel what is inside, you gain new understanding of yourself. You may see that your anger comes from feeling hurt. You may find that sadness is a sign of how much you cared about someone or something. Sometimes disappointment shows you what matters to you most. Every emotion tells you something important if you listen to it with patience and care. Self-acceptance is a skill you can practice every day. It does not mean you have to agree with every emotion or let it decide what you do. You can accept sadness without letting it stop you from taking care of your needs. You can accept anger without using it to hurt other people or yourself. You can be gentle with yourself, no matter what you feel inside. If you notice that emotions become too heavy or last longer than you feel comfortable with, it can help to reach out for support. You might talk to someone you trust, such as a friend, family member, or professional. Sometimes sharing what you feel with another person can bring comfort and reminders that you are not alone. Accepting your emotions may also mean allowing yourself special care when feelings are strong. You might take extra time to rest, eat simple food, spend time outdoors, or do something that brings you comfort. Even if nothing takes away the pain, showing kindness to your body and heart can help you feel safer as your feelings move through you. On some days, emotions may seem to come out of nowhere. You might suddenly feel sad when you remember an old story or angry at something small that happens in the present. Instead of asking, "Why am I feeling this way? What is wrong with me?" Try saying, "This is how I feel right now, and it is okay." It is normal to have ups and downs, especially when you are working to let go of someone or adjust to a change. If you judge your feelings or tell yourself you should be different, the pain often grows. If you treat your emotions with patience, the pain becomes easier to carry. Each time you allow yourself to feel, you show your mind and body that it is safe to let go. Over time, you may find that difficult feelings do not stay as long or feel as heavy. Some emotions are tied to memories of the past or worries about the future. When you notice this, you can gently bring your attention back to right now. You can ask yourself, what is happening in this moment? Even if you feel sad about the past, remind yourself that you are safe right now. If you are worried about the future, notice your breath and bring your focus back to this breath, this minute. This helps your mind get used to letting go of old stories and future fears. No one feels calm and happy all the time. Everyone has moments when they feel lost, frustrated, or deeply sad. When you accept your emotions, you allow yourself to live more fully. You no longer spend all your energy fighting with how you feel or wishing you were someone else. You just experience life as it is, sometimes painful, often beautiful, always changing. You might wonder if there will ever be a day when you do not feel pain from missing someone or from old wounds. You may notice that, with time and acceptance, your mind and heart become stronger. The feelings are still there, but they become softer. You learn to trust that emotions rise and fall, and you learn that you can handle whatever comes. When you are kind to yourself as you feel, you show yourself real love and respect. This feeling of safety allows your emotions to pass through you without making you feel stuck. If a new wave of sadness comes tomorrow, you know that you can meet it with acceptance again. It is never about making the feelings go away for good. It is about building trust in yourself that you can get through any feeling, one moment at a time. You do not have to hide your feelings from yourself or from others. Being honest about your emotions allows you to connect more deeply with yourself and with people around you. Sometimes, sharing a small part of your true feelings can bring support and help from those who care about you. Self-acceptance also means not rushing your own healing process. You do not need to decide exactly how long it should take to feel better. Everyone's emotions move at their own speed. If it takes weeks or even months for the sadness to ease, that is normal. If you wake up one day and feel lighter, you can enjoy that too. There is no correct timeline for healing or letting go. You can also notice what helps you accept your emotions. Maybe you feel better after a walk, a warm shower, or a cup of tea. Maybe you feel lighter when you listen to music or spend time with animals. Each person is different. As you notice more about yourself, you make it easier to accept how you feel, and you learn what brings comfort in hard times. Learning to accept your feelings is part of learning to live in peace with yourself. It is a gift you give to your own heart. With more practice and kindness, acceptance becomes easier. Strong emotions will still come, but they will not feel as sharp or scary. You will know that you are safe with yourself, no matter what you feel. As emotions become easier to accept, you become ready for the next step. You start to notice that there are things you can control and things you cannot. Your attention shifts from fighting your own feelings to learning how to make gentle choices each day. Choices that support your own well-being, respect the freedom of others, and create a feeling of calm inside you. Each time you accept a feeling, you make space for something new to grow in your life, even after pain or disappointment. This is a sign of true strength. With practice, you notice that your feelings are just one part of your life. They do not control everything you do. On difficult days, you know how to rest, breathe, and care for yourself with patience. On lighter days, you enjoy more moments of peace. Accepting your feelings is something you can do every day, no matter what is happening around you or inside you. In this way, acceptance becomes a steady support as you learn to let go, heal, and find more freedom in all your relationships. When you begin to accept your feelings and care for yourself in gentle ways, you also start to see another important truth. There are things you can change and things you cannot change. Some things are in your control and some things are not. This truth is simple, but it makes a deep difference in how you feel each day. When you can see the difference between what is your responsibility and what is not, your mind becomes much more peaceful. Every day, many thoughts will come to you about what should happen, what could happen, and what you wish other people would do. Sometimes you might wish for someone to treat you with more love. Sometimes you might want a friend to forgive you, or a family member to apologize, or someone to return to your life. You might wish that a difficult situation could just stop, or you might hope that an old pain would finally disappear. These wishes are common. They show that you care about people and about your life. But often, these wishes are about things that are outside of your control. Other people have their own choices, feelings, and minds. No matter how much you love or care for someone, you cannot make them act a certain way. You cannot force someone to understand you. You cannot make someone feel what you feel, or heal in the way you hope, or return the love or respect that you give. These are things you cannot control, no matter how hard you try or how much you wish. What you can control are your own actions, words, and choices. You decide how you speak to others. You decide if you reach out with kindness. You choose if you set a boundary, if you walk away, or if you stay silent. You can choose to take care of your body, to rest, to eat, to spend time with people who support you. You can decide how you respond to your own thoughts and feelings, and you can choose what you do when pain or worry appears. It is not always easy to remember the difference between what you can and cannot control, especially when your feelings are strong. For example, if you are worried about a loved one, your heart might tell you to fix the problem for them. If you feel upset after an argument, your mind may replay the moment many times, wishing for a different ending. If you feel lonely, you might think about all the ways you wish someone would come back. These reactions are a normal part of being human, but with practice, you can gently bring your attention back to yourself and what you can do. A helpful way to practice this is to pause for a moment whenever you are feeling unhappy, angry, or afraid. Take a slow breath and ask yourself, is this in my control? If the answer is yes, you can think about one small thing you might do. If the answer is no, you can remind yourself, this is not my job to fix. I can let this go. Sometimes you might need to remind yourself many times in a day, and that is okay. Each time you do this, it becomes easier to return your focus to your own choices and actions. It is important to see that your actions are powerful, even when they seem small. You may not be able to change someone else's heart, but you can speak your truth with kindness. You may not be able to stop someone from leaving, but you can comfort yourself and give yourself the support you need. These choices do not always take away the pain, but they do help you feel stronger and less trapped. You can make this practice a gentle habit in your life. Each morning when you wake up, take a few minutes to think about your day. Ask yourself, what is in my power today? Maybe you have the power to take care of your health, to talk kindly to yourself, or to make a plan for something important to you. When you think about your relationships, Remind yourself that you can only control your own part. Even if you hope for good things from others, your main responsibility is yourself. At times, you may worry that if you focus on what you can control, you will feel less close to the people you care about. You might wonder if you will become cold or distant, or if people will think you do not care. But the truth is, when you respect what you can control and accept what you cannot, your relationships become more honest and peaceful. You give people room to be themselves, and you support your own well-being at the same time. When someone treats you unkindly, you can decide what to do next. Maybe you choose to speak up, to set a clear boundary, or to step away for a while. When someone you love is in pain, you can offer support, but you cannot take away their struggle. When you find yourself wishing for a different past, you can return to the present and remind yourself that you can only shape today. You may also notice that many worries in your life are about the actions or choices of other people. You might lie awake at night hoping someone will apologize or show that they care. You might feel angry or resentful because someone does not meet your needs. When you see that these are things you cannot control, you can start to release some of the tension in your heart. It is normal to want understanding, care, or attention from others. These things are important, and it is okay to hope for them. But when you make your happiness depend on what other people do, you give away your power. If you remember that your choices belong to you, and their choices belong to them, you can be more peaceful, even if people do not act as you want. There may be times when you need to make a hard choice about a relationship. Maybe you realize that someone does not respect your limits. Maybe you see that being close to a certain person brings you more pain than joy. You cannot change how they act, but you can decide how often you see them, what you share, or how close you want to be. Taking these actions is not selfish. It is your right to protect your peace. You may also face moments where you want to say or do something for someone. Before acting, ask yourself, is this my responsibility? Am I trying to change something that is not mine to change? If you notice that your actions are trying to control someone's feelings or behavior, see if you can let go and trust them to make their own choices. When you let go of things you cannot control, you have more time and energy for your own life. You notice new opportunities and joys that were hidden before. You feel more present, and you stop wasting effort on things that never change, no matter how hard you try. Sometimes it can help to make a small list in your mind or in a notebook. On one side, write down things you can control: how I speak, how I respond, what I do for myself. On the other side, write down things you cannot control: how others respond, what they feel, what they choose. Reading this list can help you stay clear when your mind starts to get busy with worry or anger. This way of thinking takes practice. It does not mean you never care about what others do. It means you respect the freedom of everyone, including yourself. You allow people to live their own lives, just as you learn to care for your own. When your mind starts to loop or return to old worries, gently return yourself to the present. Take a breath, notice your body, and ask yourself what you can change in this moment. If you cannot change something, let yourself release it, even if only for 1 minute. With time, this habit feels more natural and your stress becomes less heavy. You might also practice saying kind words to yourself when you feel powerless. I am doing my best. I can only control my own actions. Remind yourself that you are not here to fix everyone or everything. Your true task is to take care of what belongs to you. If you feel guilt when you step back from a problem or a person, remember that letting go is not the same as not loving. It is possible to care deeply and still respect what you cannot change. You can send good wishes to others, even as you focus on what is best for you. It is important to know that everyone forgets this lesson sometimes. You might start to try to control a situation or another person without realizing it. When you see it, do not be hard on yourself. Simply notice and bring your focus back to your own choices. Each day is a chance to try again. Letting go of what you cannot control is not a thing you do just once. It is a practice for every day, every conversation, every moment when feelings are strong. Each time you shift your focus from others back to yourself, you make your mind quieter and your heart more peaceful. You will notice changes in your feelings over time. When disappointments happen, they hurt less. When someone makes a choice you do not like, you can wish them well and move on. When you catch yourself wondering what you could have done to make things different, you can remember, I did what I could. The rest was not mine to decide. If you are not sure what you can control, start with small things. You can control your breath, your words, how you spend your free time, who you ask for help, and what you say to yourself in your mind. You can choose simple acts of kindness towards yourself and others. In relationships, you can offer trust, honesty, and care. You can listen and share your feelings. But after you have done your part, the rest is not yours to shape. You cannot decide for others how they live, or heal, or grow. This truth can be sad and also freeing. It gives you permission to rest from trying so hard. Your own peace is a gift you give yourself. No amount of worry or control will make other people or situations turn out in the way you hope. By focusing on your own choices, you live in a way that feels honest and strong. You do not need everyone to agree with you or like you. You only need to act from your own heart and values. If someone else does change or shows more care, you can be grateful. If they do not, you can continue on your own path. Your worth does not depend on what others choose. You are strong just as you are, making decisions each day for yourself. Often, people find that when they stop trying to control others, both sides feel more relaxed. You no longer carry the weight of making someone else happy, and they no longer feel you trying to direct them. This creates space for more honest connection and real respect. Every step you take to see what is in your control makes you more peaceful, confident, and kind to yourself. Whether you are letting go of a romantic attachment, an old friendship, or family tension, these same ideas will support you day by day. There will still be events that surprise you. There will be words or actions from others that you did not expect. When these things happen, you can pause, let yourself feel, and return your thoughts to your own choices. You do not need to solve every problem. You only need to decide what to do for yourself. Learning to see what is in your power gives you freedom. It helps you accept others as they are, without trying to change them. This makes every relationship healthier and more peaceful for everyone. As you continue, you might like to practice these ideas in small daily ways. Each time you let go, notice how your body and mind feel. Notice when you feel lighter or more free. Notice that your life gets calmer when you place your attention on your own choices and let go of the rest. The more you live this way, the more natural and safe it feels. You learn to trust yourself and to respect the journey of everyone around you. You let go of guilt, anger, and the need for control. You become a person who stands calm in the middle of life, strong in the things you can do, and gentle with what you cannot change. When you learn to see what is in your power and start letting go of what you cannot control, it is natural to want new ways to practice this in your daily life. You begin to look for simple steps that help your mind and heart become lighter. Every day brings chances to try out these new ideas, especially when feelings around other people are strong. To change how you relate to others, you can build some gentle exercises or routines into your mornings, afternoons, or evenings. These exercises are not complicated. Anyone can do them, even during busy or stressful days. One useful step is to start each day with a few quiet moments. After you wake up and before you begin your usual tasks, try to sit or stand still for a minute or two. You can close your eyes or look at something simple like a cup or a window. In this moment, take 3 or 4 slow breaths. As you breathe in and out, gently remind yourself, only my actions, Words and choices belong to me. Other people's actions and choices belong to them. You do not have to change anything or fix any feelings. You are only giving your mind a clear place to start. After this small morning pause, you might want to think of one thing you could do for yourself today. You could say out loud, "Today I will be kind to myself," or "Today I will let go of things I cannot control." These short phrases can guide your actions through difficult moments. If you like, you could write your phrase on a piece of paper and keep it with you. Looking at this note later in the day can help you remember your focus. When feelings or worries about another person come during the day, you can use your breath to return your attention to yourself. If something upsets you, stop for a short moment. Take a deep breath in and breathe out slowly. You can place a hand on your chest or your stomach if it feels right. As you breathe, say to yourself, "I am only in charge of myself. I choose my words. I choose my actions." Repeat this for 3 or 4 breaths. You might notice your body relax, even if your mind is still busy. The goal is not to make all feelings go away, but to help yourself come back to what is calm and safe. At times, your mind may want to go over old conversations or think about how things could have gone differently. When this happens, gently tell yourself, "That moment is over. I cannot change the past. I can choose what to do with my day now." You can direct your mind back to what is happening around you right now. What do you see, hear, smell, or touch? Use your senses to ground yourself in the present. During your routine, you may want to take a few breaks to check in with your emotions. You can set an alarm, use a note, or link it with something you do daily, like eating lunch. When the time comes, pause. Ask yourself, "How am I feeling right now? Where is my mind? What do I need?" If you find you are thinking about someone who hurts you or brings you stress, take 3 slow breaths and gently repeat your phrase, "What belongs to me is my choice." Sometimes you may feel the urge to call, message, or look at social media to check what someone else is doing. When you notice this urge, pause for a short while. Ask yourself if reaching out will truly help, or if it is a habit that brings more worry. If you do not need to act, return your attention to something in your present. You might have a glass of water, organize something in your space, or step outside for some fresh air. At any point, if your mind feels too busy or your emotions are heavy, you can give your body a simple reset. Stand up, stretch your arms, or move your shoulders slowly. Taking a walk, even for a few minutes, can shift your energy. Focus on feeling your feet touching the ground or the rhythm of your steps. Movement helps your mind know you are safe, and your body responds with calm. Another good practice is to end your day with a small reflection. Before going to sleep, take a few minutes to notice your thoughts and feelings. You might ask yourself, "What did I do for myself today?" Notice if you cared for yourself with patience or if you managed to let go when something was not yours to change. Do not judge the day as good or bad. Each day is practice. You can even say to yourself, "Today, I did my best. Tomorrow, I will try again." Keeping a small journal can help you record your progress. Each night, write a few words about what you noticed in yourself. You can write about moments you felt peace or times you remembered to let go. If you had a hard moment, you can write about what you wish to try next time. This writing does not have to be shared with anyone. It is a gentle way to see how you are growing. Sometimes you will face days when nothing seems to work. Your feelings might be strong and your thoughts might be busy all day. If this happens, remember that this is normal. You are still moving forward, even when it does not feel easy. The routines and small exercises are not there to force perfection. They help you return again and again to what you can control. One exercise you can use during the day is a short letting go pause. This works especially well when you notice yourself holding on to stress or care for someone else's behavior. Close your eyes and picture holding a small object in your hand. Imagine yourself slowly letting your hand open. Tell yourself, "I am letting go of what is not mine." Breathe out, relax your hand, and move on to your next activity. This simple picture in your mind helps you remember that release is safe. You might also create a list of small activities that help you feel better. When your thoughts go back to an attachment or pain, you can gently choose something from the list. Some ideas include reading, listening to music, drawing, stretching, having a warm drink, looking at something beautiful, or speaking to a friend about another subject. Having options ready helps you shift your mood when letting go feels difficult. Building routines is easier if you do not try to change everything at once. Choose one or two new small habits to start with. You might choose morning breathing or evening journaling. As you practice, some things will feel good to you, and others might not work as well. That is okay. You are learning about your own needs and your own rhythms. On days when it is hard to detach from someone you care about, try this gentle exercise. Sit quietly for 3 or 4 minutes. Imagine placing all your worries about that person in an imaginary box. Close the lid of the box and tell yourself, "I can put this away for now." You can come back to these worries later if you have to, but for now, you are giving your mind a rest. Each time you do this, your mind learns that it is safe to have space from attachment. It is also helpful to use your senses to ground yourself during stressful moments. If you feel overwhelmed, name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This exercise brings your attention away from thoughts and back to the world around you. Your mind discovers new peace when you focus on your real surroundings. During your day, you might practice saying kind phrases to yourself. If you notice your mind repeating old worries or judgments, pause and speak softly to yourself. You can say, "It is okay to have these feelings, but I do not have to follow them." Or you might say, "I am safe right now. I am allowed to rest from worries." You can change the words to what feels good for you. The message is always about kindness and self-care. You are allowed to ask for help with these exercises. If you know someone you trust, perhaps a friend, a family member, or a counselor, you can talk to them about your goal to let go. You might share what you are practicing or ask them to remind you kindly if you forget. Support from people around you can give you strength when it is hard to change habits alone. Remember to notice small steps forward. Even if you only remember to pause for a deep breath once in a day, that is progress. If you let a worry go for just 1 minute, that is also progress. Each gentle action teaches your body and mind to trust this new way of being. You can also find moments of peace in familiar daily actions. Washing your hands, making your bed, folding your clothes, or preparing food can all be times to pay close attention. Notice your breath, the feeling of your hands, and the simple movements you make. These quiet pieces of your routine help keep you grounded and calm. Letting go does not mean you stop feeling. It means you give yourself permission to live in the present moment, even if emotion is strong. Every exercise and every pause is a tool you can use to care for yourself, no matter how the world around you moves or what other people decide to do. When you build these routines slowly over many days, your mind learns new ways to respond. It becomes easier to pause before reacting. It is less scary to sit with difficult feelings. You begin to notice more moments of peace, even when attachment pain is still part of your life. Living this way also gives you new strength and new confidence. You know you have choices. You know you can care for yourself. When someone else acts in ways you do not like, you rely on your routines to stay steady. When difficult memories show up, you practice grounding yourself, letting go, and coming back to your breath. You do not have to use every exercise every day. You have many choices, and you can listen to your own needs as they change. Some days you may need more time alone. Some days you may need more connection or rest. The key is to be patient and gentle with yourself, trusting your small steps to bring change. Building a practice of letting go is not about reaching some perfect state. It is about learning, little by little, to do what is good for your heart and mind. The routines you build today will help you tomorrow, whenever pain or attachment tries to take your peace away. You will discover that each time you let go, you make more space for simple joys. You find calm in your body. You see yourself growing stronger. Each gentle breath, each moment of quiet attention builds a new path inside you. You become more free, and your mind learns that peace is always possible. The daily work of letting go is a kind of care you give to yourself. By choosing these small actions, you become less controlled by others and more in control of your own well-being. This prepares you to make healthy choices for yourself and your relationships with others. As you move forward with these routines, you will see how they help support you in building safe, respectful distance from people or situations that are harmful or unhealthy for you. When you begin to use small, gentle routines to take care of yourself and let go of what is not your responsibility, you start to notice which people in your life help you feel calm and which people often cause stress or pain. As you practice letting go, you may see that some relationships bring you more happiness, while others seem to drain your energy and take away your peace. This is a natural part of learning about yourself. Not every connection is healthy for your heart and mind. Sometimes making your life better means creating healthy distance from people who bring harm, sadness, or discomfort. Creating healthy distance is not about being mean or cold. It does not mean you stop loving or caring about someone. It is about understanding your own limits and protecting your well-being. When you notice that being close to someone always leaves you feeling upset, tired, or worried, it is important to think about what is best for you. In some cases, that means gently spending less time with that person or speaking with them less often. This is an act of kindness to yourself. It is also respectful toward the other person because it is honest and clear. Many people feel guilty or selfish when they create distance from someone in their life. They may think, "I should be stronger. I should be able to handle this." They may worry about hurting the other person's feelings, but the truth is, everyone needs safe boundaries to stay healthy, emotionally, and even physically. If you give all your time and energy to someone who treats you badly or never gives back, you will quickly lose your own strength and peace. Setting boundaries does not need to be dramatic. You do not have to fight, accuse, or explain yourself in great detail. Sometimes you can just make small changes. You might answer messages less quickly. You may decide not to join certain activities if you know they will bring stress. You could choose to share less personal information or to leave a conversation earlier than normal. What matters most is paying attention to your own comfort and needs. If you are afraid of what might happen when you create distance, remember that protecting your well-being is always a good choice. If someone becomes angry, tries to make you feel guilty, or pressures you to give more than you want to, that is another sign your boundary is important. Being clear with yourself makes it easier to act with respect and strength. You may find it helpful to think about what kind of relationship you want with each person. Ask yourself simple questions. Do I feel safe with this person? Do I feel respected? Do I feel heard when I share my feelings? If the answer is mostly no, or if you always feel hurt or drained after being with someone, it may be time to step back and create more space. Sometimes the best way to create distance is to be direct. If you feel safe, you might have a calm talk and say something like, "I need to take care of myself right now," or "I am going to spend less time together for a while." You do not owe anyone a long explanation. If you do not feel safe, you do not have to explain at all. You can simply make the change and trust your decision. Respecting your own comfort may also mean avoiding certain topics with some people. If talking about your feelings always brings arguments or criticism, you can decide not to share those feelings with that person. You might choose to keep the conversation simple, polite, or about neutral things. This is another way to protect your peace without creating conflict. In some cases, it may be necessary to take bigger steps. If someone is abusive, always angry, or never respects your boundaries, you might need to stop seeing or speaking to them for a long time or even forever. This may sound difficult, but your safety always comes first. No one has the right to hurt you, control you, or treat you without kindness. If you are not sure what to do, talk to someone you trust or a professional who can support you. Healthy distance can also mean noticing how much energy you give to thinking about someone. If your mind is always busy with worries or hopes about a person, see if you can gently shift your attention. When you catch yourself thinking about them, you can pause, breathe, and turn your focus toward an activity that feels good to you. This might mean going outside, drawing, listening to music, or spending time with someone who supports you. As you practice creating healthy distance, you will notice changes in yourself. You may feel lighter, more relaxed, and more able to handle daily life. You might discover you have more time and energy for your own interests, needs, and true friends. You may even feel relief that you do not have to try so hard to change or rescue someone who refuses to change themselves. Creating healthy distance is a skill that grows with time. At first, you may worry about the other person or miss them. You may feel sad or guilty. These feelings are normal. You are not a bad person for wanting space or for choosing what is healthy for you. Sometimes, loving someone means allowing them to live their life while you take care of your own. You can wish someone well in your heart, even if you are not close to them anymore. You do not have to feel angry or bitter to make a wise choice for yourself. You can simply accept that your path is different now. If it feels helpful, you can say a quiet wish or hope for your own peace and for theirs. Letting people go with kindness helps you heal and keeps your heart soft. Creating healthy distance does not mean closing the door forever in every situation. Sometimes relationships change over time. If both people grow and learn, new connections might develop later. But you do not have to wait for someone to change in order to feel better right now. What is most important is your well-being in the present. You might want to plan how to use the extra time and energy that becomes available when you create distance. Think about things you enjoy or want to try. You can focus on your hobbies, work, creativity, health, or new friendships. Often, when you make space by letting go of hurtful attachments, more joy and new possibilities appear in your life. As you keep practicing, you may notice that your boundaries become clearer. You are better able to recognize situations that do not feel good or people who do not treat you with respect. You learn that you can trust your feelings and that it is always okay to take care of your own needs. Support from others can make this process easier. If you have a trusted friend or group, talk with them about what you are doing. Ask for understanding or encouragement when you feel doubt or sadness. Your support system can remind you that you are strong and that you deserve peace. Sometimes, distance gives both people room to grow. Without constant tension or drama, it is easier to understand what is important to you and what you want for your future relationships. You may find new respect for yourself and, with time, new respect for the other person as well. Healthy distance does not mean stopping all contact unless that is needed for your safety. It may simply mean having less contact or contact on your terms. For example, you might decide to answer calls only at times that work for you, or you might visit only in group settings. Listen to your comfort and allow yourself to adjust the relationship as needed over time. If you ever doubt your decision to create distance, take a quiet moment to remember how you feel before and after spending time with this person. Notice if you feel calm or stressed, open or shut down, happy or sad. Your body and heart often know the answer before your mind does. You can trust what you feel. You might also feel pressure from others to forgive quickly or to keep close ties with everyone, no matter how they behave. You can remember that forgiveness and kindness do not mean that you must accept hurtful treatment. It is possible to forgive someone in your heart without letting them have the same place in your life as before. Each time you act with respect for yourself, you show others and yourself that you value your own well-being. This can inspire people around you to create their own healthy boundaries too. You are choosing to build a healthier life with each small act. During moments of doubt or sadness, it is helpful to remind yourself why you are creating distance. You are not rejecting the person as a human being. You are choosing respect and calm for yourself. This is a source of strength and peace, not a sign of failure. Sometimes you may need to create distance more than once with the same person. You might try being close again and discover the same patterns as before. If this happens, you can gently create space again. This is part of learning what works best for you. You can use the same calming routines, like taking deep breaths, noticing your thoughts, or writing in your journal, to support yourself when you feel uncomfortable after creating healthy distance. Remember, you are practicing new habits. Each time you practice, these habits become a little easier. With new space in your life, your emotions may feel stronger at first. You could feel lonely or afraid. If this happens, reach out to safe friends, groups, or activities that comfort you. Give yourself permission to enjoy something that makes you smile, even if it is small. Over time, as you grow more used to your new limits, you will find it is easier to stay calm, to choose your own actions wisely, and to avoid old patterns that caused pain. You begin to see that creating distance is a loving action for yourself, and sometimes for the other person as well. You are allowed to change your mind about relationships. You can decide to give more space or less, to see someone again, or to remain apart. What matters is paying attention to your own well-being and being honest with yourself. Healthy distance is one form of self-kindness. It shows that you will take care of your own needs, just as you would care for a good friend. When you choose distance with kindness and respect, you honor both yourself and others. As you keep these gentle boundaries, you will notice more peace and freedom inside yourself. You might even have more energy for people who return your care and respect. Space gives you and others a chance to grow, learn, and become stronger. In the process of making these changes, you become more present in your own life. You learn to notice what you need and how to give it to yourself. When you are ready, you can give more to others, from a place of strength and calm rather than fear or need. With practice and patience, you see that relationships do not have to be perfect to bring meaning or joy. You can have compassion for others while remembering that your first responsibility is always to your own well-being. This makes you a stronger, more peaceful, and wiser person each day. When you begin to honor your own boundaries and create healthy distance, you often find yourself with extra time and new space in your mind and heart. But even when you know you are making good choices for your well-being, your thoughts may still return again and again to the person from whom you are detaching. Sometimes you wonder what they are doing, or you feel the strong urge to reach out. This is completely normal. The mind likes to go back to what is familiar, and attachments can pull your attention even after you work hard to let them go. Each day, you might notice your focus drifting back to old worries or memories. You may have moments where you feel impatient, sad, or restless. You could feel the desire to call, send a message, or check social media to learn about the person's life. When these strong feelings or habits appear, it is important to remember that you have a choice. You can gently guide your attention back to the present moment instead of losing yourself in the past or in stories that bring you pain. Focusing on the present is a skill you can build through small exercises. Each time you choose to pay attention to what is happening right now, You make your mind stronger and more peaceful. The first step is to notice when your thoughts have drifted away. You do not need to criticize yourself. Just notice. If you find yourself thinking or worrying about someone, gently say in your mind, "Right now, I am thinking of this person, but I can choose to return to my present moment." You can help your mind return to the present by using your senses. Look around you and notice what you can see. Maybe you see sunlight on the floor, the color of a wall, or the way shadows move. Listen to the sounds in the room or outside. Are there voices, birds, cars, or just quietness? Notice if you feel warm or cool. Pay attention to how your clothes feel against your skin. Become aware of your breath, the way it moves in and out. Even the physical feeling of sitting, standing, or moving can help bring your attention back. When you realize your thoughts are full of old worries, you might do a simple exercise. Take a deep breath, hold it for a few seconds, and let it go slowly. Then, gently move your body. Stand up and stretch or walk around the room. The body can be a helpful anchor for your attention. Even washing your hands, having a glass of water, or touching something with your hands can calm your mind. If you notice urges to look for news or updates about the person you are detaching from, give yourself a quiet minute before acting. During that minute, ask yourself if seeing this information will help your peace, or if it will bring more pain. Often, the urge passes, and you realize you feel better without those old habits. You do not need to punish yourself if you slip and check anyway. Simply notice what happens in your feelings afterwards, and gently return your focus to what you are doing now. You may want to create a list of small activities that help you feel present and peaceful. These actions do not have to be big or special. You might go for a walk, listen to music, water plants, draw, read, or organize a small space in your home. You can try cooking something simple, playing with a pet, or calling a friend to talk about another subject. Each activity is a chance to remind your mind that there are other things to think about and enjoy. When you put your attention on what is around you, you help your mind learn that peace and safety are possible without the person you have been focused on. There may be moments when your mind pulls you strongly back to old memories or hopes. At such times, bring yourself gently back to the present as many times as needed. Every time you do this, the habit of thinking about the past becomes a little weaker. Meet your feelings and your mind with patience. Even if you return to thoughts of the person 50 times in one day, each small act of bringing your attention back is a victory. It is not easy or quick to build this new habit, but it is possible for anyone. Praise yourself for every small step. Some people find that keeping their hands busy helps their mind stay in the present. You might knit, paint, write, or do puzzles. You could tidy a room, cook a meal, or care for a pet. Physical activities also help, such as gentle exercise, stretching, or dancing. Movement helps the mind relax and pay attention to right now. Spending time with supportive people is also helpful. Choose friends or family who listen, who accept your feelings, and who do not pressure you to talk about the person you are detaching from if you do not want to. You can share new experiences or simple joys, like watching a movie together, cooking, or walking outside. Shared activities remind you that your life has meaning and connection without the painful attachment. There may be times when old habits are very strong, especially in the evenings or when you feel lonely. In these times, try changing your environment. Move to a different room, open a window, turn on some music, or light a candle. You can take a bath, put on fresh clothes, or go outdoors if you can. Changing your surroundings can help your mind switch focus and find comfort. If you start to feel trapped by your thoughts or feelings, remember, you are not alone. Many people have the same struggle when they try to detach from someone. It is not a sign of weakness or failure. You are learning a new skill, and that takes time. If you have strong emotions, you can let yourself feel them without acting on every urge. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and say to yourself, This feeling is here now. It will pass. Writing in a journal can also help you keep attention on your life now. You do not have to write about the other person. You can write about what you see, hear, or feel today. You might write about something that made you smile, something you learned, or a small hope for tomorrow. Over time, you will see that your attention moves more often to other parts of your life. If your mind keeps returning to questions or what-if worries, answer yourself simply. Say, I do not know what will happen. I can let those thoughts go and focus on my day. Each time, bring your attention back to your breath, your body, or the task in front of you. You may need to do this many times, and that is perfectly normal. When you focus on the present, you also become more aware of your own needs. You might realize you are tired, hungry, or need a hug. You might recognize a need for quiet or for support. Take care of yourself as best you can in each moment. Small acts of kindness toward yourself build trust and calm in your mind and body. Trying new and creative activities can fill the space left by old attachments. You might learn to paint, take photographs, cook a new recipe, or plant seeds. Learning new things helps your mind build fresh connections and creates pleasure. You show yourself that your world can grow without the person you miss. If you find moments of peace while doing something new, notice these moments with care. Let your mind rest in them. If pain or longing comes after, that is okay. You can experience both comfort and pain. Over time, your mind will find more peace and less struggle. Building a daily routine also guides your mind toward the present. Wake up at the same time each day. Eat simple, nourishing food. Make space for rest, work, and enjoyment. If possible, spend time outdoors. Nature helps the mind feel safe and quiet. When you miss someone or want to return to old habits, remind yourself how far you have come. You have learned to name your feelings, care for yourself, and set healthy limits. You are building new ways to use your energy and attention. Honor that progress, no matter how small. If at times you feel lost or helpless, reach out to others who support you. You could talk, walk together, or share your worries. Sharing the process with someone else makes it easier. You might notice that your mind fixates most when you are tired, sad, or lonely. Rest and self-care are important. Make sure you sleep enough, eat enough, and give yourself breaks through the day. Be patient with yourself if you do not feel better right away. Each time you bring your attention back from old thoughts, you create a stronger habit of peace. You learn to enjoy simple things that were hard to see before. You become stronger at saying no to old patterns, and your mind feels lighter. Focusing on the present does not mean you must ignore your feelings or your memories. You can respect your past while still living fully in today. Allow your emotions to flow, but do not allow them to control your choices or steal your peace. As you keep practicing, you will see small changes. You will notice more moments of calm. It will get easier to be patient with yourself and with others. You may see that you do not need to look outside yourself for happiness or safety. You will know you can care for your own needs. Over time, the urge to return to the person you are detaching from will become less strong. You will still have moments of memory, longing, or sadness, but you will also have new things to think about and enjoy. Every new activity or moment of presence is a step forward. Let your attention rest in what is real and true right now. Hear the sounds, notice the colors, taste your food, feel your breath. Your life is happening in this moment. Each time you notice this, you become more peaceful and free. You are not just letting go of an unhealthy attachment. You are creating a new way of living, one where you care for yourself, use your energy well, and find joy in daily life. With each step, your mind grows quieter and your heart feels a little lighter. All of these small actions taken over many days make it possible to fully heal and build a stronger, happier relationship with yourself. You are not alone in this journey, and you have the courage to keep bringing your attention back to the present, where you truly belong. As you keep bringing your attention to the present and find new ways to fill your time, you may notice that some days still feel very hard. Even when you take care of yourself and do things that you enjoy, it is normal to experience difficult emotions while you are trying to let go. Sadness can come suddenly when you remember something from the past. Longing can appear in the middle of a quiet moment. Guilt may rise when you think about making healthy distance, or when others do not understand your choices. It is important to remember that these feelings are part of being human. Everyone feels sadness, loneliness, guilt, or longing at different times, especially when a relationship changes or comes to an end. It does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are not moving forward. These feelings may feel heavy, but with patience and care, you can make room for them and allow them to pass. One way to cope with difficult emotions is to notice them as soon as they appear. When you feel a wave of sadness, sit quietly for a few moments and name the feeling to yourself. You might say, "This is sadness," or "I am feeling lonely." By naming the emotion, you separate yourself from it a little bit. You can notice the feeling without letting it take over. You can say, "Sadness is here, but it is not all that I am." Sometimes emotions feel very strong, and you might want to push them away. You could distract yourself with work, with your phone, with food, or with other people. This is normal, and sometimes distraction is helpful. But if you always run away from feelings, they may stay with you even longer. Instead, try to give space to your emotions. Sit with them for a while without judging yourself. Take slow breaths. Notice where you feel the emotion in your body. Is there tightness in your chest? Do your eyes feel heavy, or your stomach feel sick? These physical signs are normal and will pass. You might notice that certain times of the day are harder than others. Some people feel more lonely in the evening, while others feel low in the mornings. If you know when your hard times come, you can make a plan to care for yourself. Maybe you go for a walk after dinner or call a friend in the morning. Having a small routine helps your mind get through tough moments. Guilt can be a very strong feeling, especially if you are used to always caring for others. You might feel guilty for stepping back or for deciding not to answer a message. You may feel you are letting someone down. If you notice guilt, pause and ask yourself, "Am I hurting anyone? Or am I just taking care of myself?" Most of the time, you are not being mean or selfish. You are protecting your own well-being. It is okay to make choices that are good for you, even if others do not understand. If guilt makes you doubt your choices, think about all the times you put someone else first or tried your best in the relationship. Remind yourself that you are allowed to set limits and you are allowed to rest. Taking care of yourself does not mean you do not care about others. It means you know your limits and value your health. It can be helpful to talk about your feelings with someone you trust. This could be a friend, a family member, or a professional. Telling your story makes your pain feel lighter. You may hear from others that they have gone through something similar. You may receive comfort or advice that helps you see your feelings in a new way. If you do not want to talk to someone, you can write about your feelings in a notebook or a journal. Write exactly how you feel, even if it does not make sense. You can write, "Today I feel sad and tired," or "I wish things were different." The notebook is just for you. It is a space to express whatever is inside, without worry about what anyone else might think. Sometimes emotions come and go many times in one day. You may feel okay in the morning and very sad in the afternoon. This is normal. Try to move with your emotions rather than fight them. If you feel sad, let yourself rest or listen to calming music. If you feel angry, move your body, stretch, or take deep breaths. If you feel lonely, reach out to safe people or do something comforting. If you have a strong urge to contact the person you are detaching from, pause for a few minutes before doing anything. Breathe deeply and ask yourself how you might feel afterward. Sometimes reaching out brings more pain or sets you back in your healing. Waiting even 5 minutes before acting can help the feeling pass. On some days, emotions can feel overwhelming. If you feel that the pain is too much, do not keep it to yourself. Reach out for help. You can call a crisis line, speak to a doctor, or tell someone close that you are having a hard time. Asking for support is a brave and wise step. Remember, no emotion stays forever. Your sadness, longing, or guilt may be strong today, but with time, these feelings become softer. Every day you show yourself patience and care. You teach your mind that it is safe to feel and safe to heal. Take care of your body gently. Eat enough, drink water, and rest when you are tired. If you can, go outside and let fresh air touch your face. Simple actions like brushing your teeth or taking a shower support your body and help your mind. Try to find small joys or moments of peace, even during sadness. Listen to a favorite song, smell something comforting, watch the sky, or taste your favorite tea. Notice each moment that you feel okay. Put your attention there, even if only for 1 or 2 minutes at a time. Allow yourself to heal without a strict timeline. Some days you may feel like you are making progress. Other days you may feel like you are going backwards. Healing has its own pace for every person. If today is hard, tomorrow might be different. Trust that your body and mind know how to take care of you. You might experience dreams or memories that surprise you. They can make emotions feel even stronger. When this happens, remind yourself that it is just a memory or a feeling, not something you need to act on. You can comfort yourself in the present. Take deep breaths and say, "I am safe now. I can get through this." Try to accept yourself in every mood. There is no need to force happiness or pretend that everything is fine. Honesty with yourself helps you move forward faster. If you feel hopeless, you can say so. If you feel angry, let yourself admit it. Every feeling is allowed. No emotion makes you less worthy or lovable. If you feel stuck in a certain emotion for a long time, remember that leaving pain behind is not always about forgetting. Sometimes it is about understanding. You might ask yourself, what is this feeling telling me? Maybe sadness shows you what you value. Maybe anger reminds you of your needs. Longing can be a sign that you care deeply. All of these feelings are normal. You can take comfort in knowing that other people have had hard emotions too. You are part of the human family. Everyone has had days when they felt lost, afraid, or empty. You are not alone, and things can get better. The more you face your hard feelings with patience and care, the less power they have over you. With time, moments of peace and happiness become more common. You learn to trust that you are strong enough to handle whatever comes. If you have trouble sleeping or if your mind feels too full, create a bedtime routine to help you rest. You could take a warm shower, read something light, do some gentle stretches, or listen to calming music before bed. Having a peaceful night helps your mind heal. Notice if your emotions get worse when you are tired, hungry, or lonely. Try to care for those basic needs first. When your body feels cared for, your mind finds it easier to manage hard emotions. If you like, try meditation or slow breathing exercises. Sit quietly and notice your breath, or repeat a calming phrase such as, "I am safe," or "This will pass." These practices help you stay present and calm, even when strong feelings are there. Take breaks from screens and news, especially if you notice they bring more worry or pain. Limit your time online or on your phone, and try to use that time for other small pleasures or rest. You may feel like crying, or you may feel numb and empty. Both are normal. Tears can wash away some pain. If you do not feel anything for a while, it may be your mind's way of protecting you until you are ready to feel again. Offer yourself kindness each day. Speak gently in your mind. You can say, "It is okay to feel this," or "I have done my best today." Each small word of kindness helps your mind relax and trust the healing process. It is helpful to plan ahead for hard times. Write down the names or phone numbers of people you can talk to. Keep a list of small activities that comfort you when emotions are strong. Prepare your favorite food, music, or books for the moments when you need support. If you feel guilt or pressure to return to an unhealthy connection, remind yourself why you made healthy distance. Remember what you have learned and how you are growing. Give yourself credit for every step you take toward peace. When you look back after some time, you will see that each wave of sadness or pain is followed by new moments of lightness or calm. The cycles of feeling and healing will keep coming, but they will not last forever. Be patient and gentle in your own process. Your emotions are part of you, but they will change, and they will not control you. Each day you make space for difficult feelings and take care of yourself. You move closer to peace and mental freedom. As you keep facing your emotions and learning to live with them, you will see that your mind grows quieter and your heart grows stronger. The struggle becomes less sharp. New joy and new strength start to grow from the space you create by letting go and caring for yourself. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a sign of your courage and your hope for a better life. It is possible to build a future with more peace, less pain, and new relationships that respect who you truly are. When you live through moments of pain and give yourself kindness, you begin to see that freedom and peace are possible. At first, you may think you will never feel happy again, or that life without a certain person or situation will be empty. But as you care for yourself, accept your emotions, and let go of unhealthy attachments, your mind and heart start to change. You notice that your days bring more calm. You begin to feel stronger, and new thoughts of hope slowly arrive. It is important to understand that true freedom in life comes when you stop trying to control others and focus on your own choices. When you change your point of view and focus on your own feelings, your own actions, and what you can change, you open a door to a different kind of happiness. Your mood is not ruled anymore by what others say or do. You find power in your own responses. This way of living is not cold or distant. It does not mean you care less about people. You can still love, support, and care, but you do all this without feeling trapped by the decisions or moods of someone else. You are not responsible for someone else's happiness or suffering. You respect their choices, and you respect your own needs at the same time. Every day, there will be small opportunities to practice this freedom. You might notice old habits returning, like the urge to call someone or replay old arguments in your head. These moments are natural. You can pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I am responsible for my part, and I let go of the rest. Even if the thoughts come many times, every moment you choose your own actions is a step toward a lighter, more peaceful life. Your sense of freedom grows as you give yourself permission to live in the present. You learn to appreciate simple things, a quiet morning, a kind word, the feel of your breath, or the warmth of sunlight. These small moments become more important because your mind is not caught in battles you cannot win. You realize you do not need anyone's approval to feel good about yourself. You find value in who you are, not just in your connection to someone else. Old pain may return at times, but it does not last as long as before. Instead of struggling with feelings of loss or disappointment, you are able to meet them with understanding and patience. You know that every emotion will pass if you give it space. You know that even in sadness, you are safe and strong in your own body and life. With this new power, your relationships begin to change and grow. You only give what feels right. You do not offer more than you can give. You listen to your own needs and take breaks when you need to. You build healthy limits, and by doing so, you allow more kindness and peace for everyone, including yourself. Sometimes you may notice that you enjoy being alone more than before. You find peace in your own company. You no longer look to others to fill every empty space or chase away every sad feeling. You become comfortable with quiet and stillness. This does not mean you are lonely. It means you trust your own presence. Because you now understand that people are responsible for their own happiness, you treat others with new respect. You do not try to fix their lives. You do not try to change their feelings. When someone shares a problem, you can listen with an open heart, but you do not feel responsible for making things right. You offer care without carrying their burdens as your own. As your thinking changes, your world seems bigger. You see more choices. You say yes to new experiences, to new friendships, and to changes that make you grow. You become less afraid of saying no to things that harm you or take away your peace. You learn through practice that your freedom is safe and that no one can take it from you without your permission. If you enter a new relationship, romantic, friendly, or at work, you will notice you bring something different to that space. Because you know what you can and cannot control, you let new people be who they are, and you are honest about who you are. You are not afraid to speak up, ask for what you need, or share your limits. This protects both you and the other person from confusion or pain. There will be moments when someone does not understand your change. People may question why you do not act as you did before. Some people might feel upset that you no longer do everything they want. This is normal, and it can feel hard, but it is a sign that your new freedom is growing. You can offer gentle words and clear actions to show that these changes are for your own well-being. Supporting yourself in this new way of life means remembering what you have learned about acceptance, control, and letting go. You can use your breath, your routines, your journal, and your other daily exercises whenever you feel old habits returning. These tools are always there. They are yours to use as often as needed. You can now see the value of simple joy. Ordinary moments, listening to music, spending quiet time with a pet, taking a slow walk, become special when your heart is not heavy. Your happiness is not built on someone else's approval or love. It comes from your own choices and from accepting yourself as you are. When you accept yourself, you stop wishing you were different or that your life should look like someone else's life. You trust that life brings change all the time. People come and people go. Some relationships grow and others fade. You no longer hold fear that every goodbye will leave you empty. You have learned how to fill your own heart, and you accept that not all connections last forever. This helps you welcome new relationships without holding on too tightly or being afraid that you will lose yourself again. If you ever feel sadness or disappointment in relationships, you remember that it is not wrong to feel those things. You allow your emotions to move through you. You use the tools and ideas you have learned to take care of yourself. You remind yourself that you are not responsible for the paths other people choose. You build trust in yourself every day. Each time you act with respect for your own needs, you prove to yourself that you can handle anything life brings. Your self-confidence grows from these daily practices. When you share yourself in new relationships, you do not have to hide your limits or your needs. The people who stay with you will respect those things. The people who do not may choose to move away, and that is okay. You know that being honest and kind to yourself and others is better than pretending to be someone you are not. You learn that freedom gives you more power to give love, not less. Because you are safe and peaceful in yourself, you can care for others with open hands and an open heart. You do not need to hold on too tightly. You trust that love and kindness will return to you from others who are good for you. You may notice that your sense of what is important has changed. Instead of trying to control life or other people, you pay attention to what matters most in each day. Kind words, healthy habits, quiet moments, and real connections. You make time for these things and you say no to things that bring more struggle than joy. Your new way of living means you respect yourself, and this respect shows in everything you do. You become a role model for others who are struggling. If someone asks you how you learned to feel better, you can share the simple truths of acceptance, letting go, and daily practice. When hard days come, you remember that there will always be changes and new experiences ahead. You have lived through sadness and longing before, and you know how to take care of yourself. You keep using your routines and your new habits. You grow gentler, wiser, and stronger as time passes. Letting go of attachment does not mean you give up on connection. It means you become more open to healthier, happier, and more equal bonds. You see the beauty in giving and receiving naturally, without force or fear. You know that you have something good to share with the world, and you are willing to do it. If you look back at where you started, you will see big changes. Maybe you remember when every moment was filled with worry, longing, or pain. Now, you can see how each small step, accepting your feelings, focusing on your actions, creating distance, living in the present, has changed your life. You feel proud of your effort. You respect yourself for your bravery and your patience. The journey to freedom and stronger relationships is not fast, and it is not always easy. But it is possible for anyone, no matter their age, story, or past. Every day is a new opportunity to care for yourself, respect others, and choose peace instead of struggle. Whatever your situation today, remember that you are worthy of love and happiness just as you are. You do not need to be perfect or to please everyone. You only need to be honest, gentle, and true to yourself. When you live this way, you inspire others to do the same. You now have the tools to keep building a calm, joyful life. You can meet new people, deepen old connections, and trust yourself in every situation. The path of peace is always open to you, one gentle step at a time. And when you remember that your happiness is connected to your own actions and choices, not to the changing moods or actions of others, peace and freedom stay with you wherever you go. Let yourself feel proud of all you have learned. Enjoy each new day with more space in your mind and more love in your heart for yourself and others. Every moment is a chance to celebrate your freedom and keep building healthier, more beautiful relationships, guided by wisdom, understanding, and respect.